Army Chaplain Father Tom Murphy had heard 347 confessions in 18 months. 347 soldiers pouring out their guilt, their fear, their sins to the only person on base who couldn't betray their trust. Murphy had heard confessions of theft, adultery, cowardice, rage. Murphy had heard men confess to killing in combat and feeling nothing. Murphy had heard men confess to enjoying the violence. Murphy had absolved them all, counseled them all, prayed with them all. But when Corporal Dylan Shepard sat across from Murphy in the tiny chapel at Forward Operating Base Grayson and confessed to murdering children, Murphy felt something Murphy had never felt in 20 years of ministry. Murphy felt his faith break. What Murphy didn't know was that this confession would lead Murphy down a path where every choice violated a sacred oath, and where doing the right thing would destroy everything Murphy believed in. Shepard sat with his hands folded. Shepard's voice was calm, too calm. Shepard said to Murphy, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 3 weeks since my last confession." Murphy said the traditional response. Murphy said to Shepard, "The Lord be in your heart and upon your lips, that you may truly and humbly confess your sins." Shepard took a breath. Shepard said to Murphy, "I killed 4 people last week, during a raid, a family. Father, mother, 2 children, ages maybe 6 and 8. I shot them all, execution style, while they begged for mercy." Murphy's blood turned cold. Murphy kept his voice steady. Murphy said to Shepard, "Were you under orders? Was this combat?" Shepard said to Murphy, "No, Father. This was murder. We raided a compound. Intel said it was a Taliban safe house, but when we breached, it was just a family. Farmers, no weapons, no insurgents. My squad leader, Sergeant Crane, ordered us to secure them while we searched. But then, Crane found something. A radio. Old. Broken. But Crane said it proved they were spotters. Communication with the enemy." Shepard paused. Shepard continued. Shepard said to Murphy, "The father tried to explain, through our interpreter. Said the radio didn't work, was just scrap. But Crane didn't care. Crane said we couldn't leave witnesses. Said if we let them go, they'd report us. Bring the Taliban down on our heads. Crane ordered us to eliminate them." Murphy felt sick. Murphy said to Shepard, "And you followed that order?" Shepard said to Murphy, "At first I refused. Said it was murder. But Crane put his weapon on me. Told me I had 2 choices, kill them or join them. The other guys in my squad, they backed Crane. Said it was us or them. Said this is what war really is. So I did it. I pulled the trigger, 4 times. The children were crying. The mother was holding them. And I killed them all. Before we continue, I need you to do something. Drop your name and what city or country you're watching from in the comments. Let's see how far this story reaches. These stories need to be heard." Murphy sat in silence. Murphy's mind was screaming. This wasn't a sin to be absolved. This was a war crime, multiple war crimes. And Shepard wasn't asking for forgiveness. Shepard was confessing with the expectation of absolution. Like this was just another sin. Like murdering children was something a few prayers could wash away. Murphy said to Shepard carefully, "Corporal, what you're describing is a serious crime, not just a sin. A violation of the laws of war, a basic human morality." Shepard said to Murphy, "I know, Father. That's why I'm confessing. I need absolution. I need God's forgiveness." Murphy said to Shepard, "God's forgiveness requires true contrition. Repentance. Do you feel remorse for what you did?" Shepard was quiet. Then Shepard said to Murphy honestly, "I feel bad about it. But Father, I also feel relieved, because Crane was right. If we'd let them live, they might have informed on us. Gotten my squad killed. I chose my brothers over strangers. Is that wrong?" Murphy said to Shepard, "You chose your squad over innocent children. That's not just wrong, that's evil." Shepard's face hardened. Shepard said to Murphy, "I came here for forgiveness, not judgment. You're a chaplain. You're supposed to absolve me. That's your job." Murphy said to Shepard, "My job is to guide souls toward salvation. I cannot absolve you if you're not truly repentant." if you cannot see the evil in what you've done. Shepard stood up. Shepard said to Murphy, "Fine, I'll find another chaplain, one who understands what it's like out here, what we have to do to survive." Murphy said to Shepard, "Wait, sit down, please." Shepard hesitated. Then Shepard sat. Murphy's mind was racing. Under the seal of confession, Murphy couldn't report what Shepard had said. Religious confidentiality was absolute. If Murphy violated it, Murphy would be breaking sacred vows, would be betraying the foundation of Murphy's entire ministry. But if Murphy stayed silent, Shepard would deploy again, would be in more situations where Shepard might kill more innocents, where Shepard and Crane would commit more atrocities. Murphy made a decision. Murphy said to Shepard, "I will hear your full confession, but I need you to answer some questions, not as your priest, just as someone trying to understand. Is Sergeant Crane the only one giving these orders? Or are there others?" Shepard said to Murphy, "There are 5 of us. Crane, me, Corporal Hicks, Specialist Ramsey, Private Kellerman. We've been operating as a team for 8 months. Crane calls us the cleaners, says we do the dirty work that lets everyone else sleep at night." Murphy said to Shepard, "The dirty work? You mean killing civilians?" Shepard said to Murphy, "Not just that. We plant evidence, make it look like combat casualties, cover up mistakes. One time, Hicks shot a kid by accident. Thought the kid was reaching for a weapon. Turned out it was just a toy. Crane had us plant an AK on the body, made it look justified, wrote it up as hostile engagement." Murphy said to Shepard, "How many times? How many people have you killed this way?" Shepard said to Murphy, "I don't know. Dozens? Crane keeps count. Crane's proud of it. Says we've eliminated potential future threats. Says every civilian we kill is one less insurgent they can recruit." Murphy felt horror washing over Murphy. This wasn't one soldier having a crisis. This was systematic, organized, a death squad operating within the American military. Murphy said to Shepard, "And your commanding officers? Do they know?" Shepard said to Murphy, "Crane reports to Major Brennan. I think Brennan knows, or at least suspects. But Brennan never asks questions. As long as our numbers look good, as long as we're getting results, Brennan doesn't care how we get them." Murphy said to Shepard, "Results? What results?" Shepard said to Murphy, "High enemy kill counts, weapons seizures, successful missions. We make the unit look effective, make Brennan look like a successful commander. Everyone wins, except the people we kill." Murphy was silent for a long moment. Then Murphy said to Shepard, "I can't give you absolution. Not for this. Not without genuine repentance. And I can't in good conscience let you continue on this path. You need to turn yourself in. Confess to your crimes officially. Face justice." Shepard laughed. Shepard said to Murphy, "You think I'm the only one? You think if I confess, it stops? Father, there are teams like ours all over this war. Brennan knows. Command knows. They just don't talk about it. Because acknowledging it means admitting the war isn't clean, isn't noble, is just murder with a flag." Shepard stood again. Shepard said to Murphy, "I came here hoping you'd understand, hoping you'd help me carry this. But you're just like everyone else. You want to believe we're heroes, that we're fighting the good fight. You can't handle the truth that we're just killers in uniform." Shepard walked out, left Murphy sitting alone in the chapel. Murphy's hands were shaking. Murphy's mind was screaming. Murphy had evidence of war crimes, multiple murders, a conspiracy that went up the chain of command, and Murphy couldn't report any of it without violating the seal of confession. Murphy spent the night in prayer, asking God for guidance, asking for wisdom. But the only answer Murphy heard was the echo of Murphy's own doubts. By morning, Murphy had made a decision. Murphy would investigate quietly, without using anything from the confession directly. Murphy would find independent evidence, talk to soldiers, review reports, build a case that didn't rely on privileged information. Murphy started asking questions, casual, subtle, Murphy talked to soldiers about their missions, about difficult decisions, about leaders they trusted. Murphy listened, gathered pieces. Murphy found patterns, missions with unusually high civilian casualties, reports that didn't match other accounts, soldiers who seemed traumatized beyond normal combat stress. Murphy found a medic who treated injuries that didn't match the official explanations. Murphy found an interpreter who'd witnessed executions but been threatened into silence. Murphy built a file, evidence, testimony, a case against Crane and Crane's team, against Major Brennan, against the systematic murder of civilians. But then Murphy received a visit. Late one night, in Murphy's quarters, Sergeant Crane standing in Murphy's doorway. Crane said to Murphy, "Chaplain, we need to talk." Murphy said to Crane, "It's late, Sergeant. Can this wait until morning?" Crane stepped inside, closed the door. Crane said to Murphy, "No, it can't. I know what you're doing. I know you've been asking questions, talking to people about our operations, and I'm here to tell you to stop." Murphy said to Crane, "I'm a chaplain. I talk to soldiers. That's my job." Crane said to Murphy, "You're investigating, building a case. Shepard told me about your conversation, about how you refused to absolve him, about how you told him he needed to turn himself in." Murphy said to Crane, "That conversation was confidential. Protected by religious—" Crane interrupted. Crane said to Murphy, "I don't care about your religious protections. I care about operational security. You're threatening my team, my mission, and I'm here to make sure you understand the consequences." Murphy said to Crane, "Are you threatening a chaplain? A non-combatant?" Crane said to Murphy, "I'm threatening a man who's putting American soldiers at risk. If you expose what we've done, you'll destroy careers, cause a scandal that undermines the entire mission, get good soldiers court-martialed. And for what? To protect people who would kill us given the chance?" Murphy said to Crane, "You murdered children, innocent families. That's not combat. That's evil." Crane's face hardened. Crane said to Murphy, "Evil is letting the enemy win because you're too soft to do what's necessary. Evil is pretending war is clean. We're fighting savages, Chaplain, people who would happily saw your head off on camera. And you want to judge me for making sure my men come home? If this story is affecting you, please hit that like button and subscribe. And let me know in the comments where you're from. These conversations matter." Murphy said to Crane, "I'm going to report what I've found, not the confession, just the evidence I've gathered independently. You're going to face justice for what you've done." Crane said to Murphy, "No, you're not, because if you do, I'll make sure you never leave this base. Accidents happen in war zones, Chaplain, even to non-combatants, even to men of God." Murphy felt fear, real fear, but Murphy also felt something else. Clarity. Murphy said to Crane, "Then you'll have to kill me, because I won't be silent. I won't let you continue murdering innocents in the name of soldiers I'm supposed to protect." Crane stared at Murphy. Long moment. Then Crane said to Murphy, "You're making a mistake, a fatal one, but that's your choice." Crane left. Murphy sat in the darkness, knowing Murphy had just signed Murphy's own death warrant, but also knowing Murphy had no other option. Some things were worth dying for, and stopping a death squad was one of them. Murphy went to Colonel Pierce, the base commander, presented all the evidence Murphy had gathered. Pierce listened. Pierce's face grew darker with each revelation. When Murphy finished, Pierce said to Murphy, "This is serious. If what you're saying is true, we're looking at multiple war crimes, a conspiracy, possibly involving field-grade officers." Murphy said to Pierce, "It's true, sir. I have testimony, evidence. This needs to be investigated." Pierce said to Murphy, "And you gathered all this without violating any confidentiality? Nothing from confession?" Murphy said to Pierce, "Nothing from confession. Everything I've presented is from independent sources." Pierce made a decision. Pierce said to Murphy, "I'm ordering an immediate investigation. Criminal Investigation Command will handle it. Crane and his team will be detained pending review. Major Brennan will be suspended. This ends now." But Pierce was wrong. It didn't end. It got worse. That night, before CID could arrive, the base came under attack. Coordinated, precise. Mortar fire targeting specific locations. One of those locations was Murphy's quarters. Murphy survived because Murphy wasn't there. Murphy was in the chapel, praying, preparing for what was coming. But Murphy's quarters were destroyed. If Murphy had been inside, Murphy would have died. The attack killed 3 soldiers, wounded a dozen more. In the chaos, Crane and Crane's team disappeared, just vanished. When order was restored, they were gone, along with Major Brennan. CID investigated, found evidence that Brennan had Taliban contacts, had been passing information to insurgents for months. The mortar attack had been arranged, a distraction, a way to eliminate Murphy and extract Crane's team before they could be arrested. But Brennan and Crane had miscalculated. They'd killed American soldiers in the process. That made it personal, made it a manhunt. Every asset in theater was redirected to finding them. It took 3 weeks, but they found them, trying to cross into Pakistan. A firefight erupted. Crane died, shot while trying to escape. 2 of Crane's team surrendered. 2 died fighting. Brennan was captured alive. The trials were military justice at its most severe. The evidence was overwhelming. The surviving members of Crane's team testified against each other, trying to minimize their own involvement. Brennan tried to claim Brennan was following orders from even higher up, but no evidence supported it. In the end, Brennan got life in prison. The surviving team members got sentences ranging from 30 years to life. The scandal rocked the military. Congressional hearings, policy changes, new oversight for special operations teams. And Murphy? Murphy was called a hero, given commendations, praised for courage. But Murphy didn't feel heroic. Murphy felt broken, because Murphy had violated the spirit of the confession, even if not the letter, had used knowledge gained in confidence to guide Murphy's investigation, had leveraged sacred trust to achieve justice. Was it right? Was it justified? Murphy didn't know. Murphy had saved future lives, had stopped murderers. But Murphy had also compromised the very foundation of Murphy's ministry, the absolute trust that confession requires. Murphy requested a transfer, left combat chaplaincy, spent 2 years in counseling, working through the trauma, the moral injury, the question of whether Murphy had done the right thing. Eventually, Murphy found peace, not complete peace, not the certainty Murphy had once felt, but a quieter understanding that sometimes there are no clean choices, that sometimes you have to choose between bad options, that sometimes protecting the sacred means compromising it. Murphy returned to ministry, but different, more humble, more aware of the complexity of moral decisions. Murphy counseled soldiers with a new empathy, because Murphy understood the weight of impossible choices, the burden of doing right when all options feel wrong. Murphy carried Shepard's confession forever, carried the memory of those murdered families, carried the weight of decisions made in darkness with no clear guidance, carried it all and tried to turn it into wisdom, into compassion, into service. Years later, Murphy received a letter from one of the interpreters who'd witnessed Crane's atrocities. The interpreter had survived, had moved to America, had become a citizen. The letter thanked Murphy, said Murphy had saved lives, had given voice to victims who had none, had proven that not all Americans were monsters. Murphy kept that letter, read it when doubt crept in, when Murphy questioned whether Murphy had done the right thing. The letter didn't erase the guilt, didn't answer all the questions, but it reminded Murphy that justice matters, that protecting the innocent matters, that sometimes you have to break lesser rules to uphold greater ones. Murphy never spoke publicly about Shepard's confession, never violated that final boundary. But Murphy used the lesson, the understanding that evil can hide anywhere, that good people can become complicit, that silence in the face of atrocity is its own sin. And Murphy taught other chaplains, warned them about the impossible situations they might face, about confessions that test faith, about moments where duty and calling conflict. Murphy prepared them for the reality that ministry in war is never clean, never simple, always complicated. Murphy's faith changed, became less certain, more questioning, but also deeper, stronger in ways Murphy hadn't expected, because Murphy had been tested, had faced the hardest question a minister can face, and Murphy had chosen justice over comfort, truth over silence, action over paralysis. Was it right? Murphy still didn't know. Murphy suspected Murphy never would. But Murphy lived with it, carried it, used it to be better, to serve better, to understand that faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about making hard choices and trusting that grace covers even our most painful compromises. That was Murphy's lesson. Learned in blood and fire, carried in silence, shared through service. Some sins can't be absolved. Some choices can't be unmade. Some burdens can't be put down. But they can be carried with purpose, with intention, with the hope that even broken people can still do good. Murphy was broken. Murphy accepted that. And Murphy kept serving anyway. That was faith, real faith. The kind earned in darkness, the kind that survives doubt, the kind that chooses to believe that even compromised souls can still shine light. Murphy carried that light, imperfect, flickering, but steady. And in the end, that was enough.